Let's rip a pod, baby.
Oh, yeah. Let's rip a pod. Boom. Boom. Welcome back to the Freelance Network podcast, everybody. So today we have the all-star dream team cast for this pod. You know, I love all of our guests. They're great, but like this is the squad right here. This is the squad. So I'm Luke.
I'm Cassie.
I'm Sully.
And today we asked on our Instagram poll, well, actually 2 days ago, we asked for questions not related to content creating because we just wanted to change it up so you guys can get to know us a little better too, just for fun. So yeah, but before we get into that, Bob's got some news. What's going on, Bob?
Yeah, so I got a little thing happening. So by the time this comes out,
yes, this will be next Wednesday, so it'll already be out.
So this will drop, this podcast will drop next Wednesday, but the previous Friday, which is 2 days from when we're recording this, which is Valentine's Day, the 14th, I dropped my single. It's called Heart Problems, and it's different than anything else that I've ever made. So just for some context, if people don't know, I'm a rapper and musician, and I release music, so I'm dropping that. And by the time you're watching this, it's already out, so go give it a listen.
Yeah, it's fire. I've listened to it so many times already.
Thank you, bro. I appreciate that, yeah.
Yeah, well, you better check it out because it is fire. But Cassie, why don't you start reading off these questions? Because we got some funny ones. Because there's some funny ones, there's some more deep ones, but that's exactly what we wanted. So thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. And this kind of Q&A gave us a leeway because a lot of my friends that watch this aren't content creators, so they never know what to ask when we do regular Q&As. So I had a couple of my non-content creator friends write in. And the first question is from my best friend from 3rd grade, Jill. Thank you for participating in this. And her question was, do you love me? No, I'm kidding. No, she's literally my best friend. Like, she went to school in South Carolina for 4 years, and it was hard because, you know, my best friend moved away, and she came home and surprised me a lot when I was like down or whatever, when I was still in community college. So yes, I love you. And they don't know you, but I'm sure.
I love you, Jill.
I love you too, Jill. Shout out.
Okay. So from there, Mick Drake asks, where do you want to be 1 year from now, and what are you doing to get there?
Oof. All right. Well, I'll lead off.
Yeah.
So a year from now, I would like to be doing exactly what I'm doing, but better, because my main goal since graduating school has been to be able to work in the field that I want to and like sustain myself with that. And so far I have, but also I want to keep growing and getting better at it because I'm just kind of just getting my foot in the door with freelance game right now. Mm-hmm. But like I'd like to build on that. And then also my main thing is I'd like to be creating more of my own like films / whatever, just like own original projects like this, but more narrative or documentary. And I actually am working on a film right now. It's the first time I'm talking about it anywhere, but Steve Reynolds, who was on the podcast a couple episodes ago, him and I are working on a short film right now. So once it's like further along, we just wrote the script, so it's like really early right now, but yes, that's what I'm doing to work towards it. So yeah.
That's good. For me, a year from now, I have touched on this before because we've had like a kind of similar question. I don't want to make solidified plans because every time I do, my life gets like derailed and like it never turns out how I want it. But I can already tell right now, like the things that I've been planning since I've started college have already completely changed. So I don't know where I'm going to be a year from now. But the things that I'm doing to work towards it, I just want to be, I will be graduated by May. That was like been my one goal, and that's actually happening. And I just want to like move out somewhere, don't know where, and just, you know, start my career and just get my foot in the door and, you know, hopefully not be in like retail or anything, like actually go into the field and get paid for it. Because a lot of the stuff that I do in the field, like I do a lot of volunteer work. I don't get paid for it. Like this isn't paid, whatever. Like I love doing this, but I definitely need an income. So I want to make an income off of something that I love, but in a year. That would be like the goal. But I'm not going to get too specific because it'll change. And I know myself. So.
No, that's good. It makes sense. Yeah, I'm in the same point of trying to make my art lucrative and what I create lucrative. So a year from now, I'll be pursuing music full time. And by that, I mean music in any form. So that could be DJing, producing, mixing, mastering, tracking, recording, rapping, singing, whatever it's going to be. But I set that goal for myself very recently. Like in the last couple of weeks, I talked to some life coaches, some financial coaches, some music coaches, some like all trying to just gather knowledge of like, oh, is this possible? Now I realize it's possible. So every day I practice, I write, even if I don't want to, even if it's 1 o'clock in the morning, it doesn't matter. So that's what I'm doing day to day to get there. So a year from now, just be pursuing that music, man.
Yeah.
Awesome.
It's cool to like look into our lives because I feel like a lot of us live in the moment, which is good.
Mm.
But it's good every once in a while to just stop and think like, all right, I'm doing all this stuff, but where's it going?
Mhm.
So yeah, it's thanks Mick Drake for reminding us to think about that.
question.
Our,
Yes.
our nearsighted
question,
future.
yeah.
So
Great question. So the next question's from our friend Kat. She said, if you had $1 million, would you still work or would you just make your hobbies or your crafts, like your career, pretty much make them hobbies if you had $1 million?
want me to go first?
Yes.
Okay. I'm not in it to make money. Like, I'm not into making movies to make money. I've never once thought I want to direct movies because of the paycheck. I've always just wanted to tell stories. So if I happen to have money, then money's going into making movies. Like, no doubt. Like, if I win money or if I stumble on money, like, that's what it's going to be. Like, Star Wars is made on a huge budget. I want to make a Star Wars movie. Boom, I got money. I can make a Star Wars movie. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So it's never been like a financial gain. Like, yeah, it's nice and it's great, and to sustain what I want to do, you need money, you know. But like, I honestly know for a fact I would just be I'm gonna make movies until I die. So like, I'm not gonna retire. Like, my parents are like, you need to figure out your retirement plan. My retirement plan is to die. Like, keep making
Just
movies
work,
until I'm
man.
gone.
Yeah, that's it, because you love it for the love.
Yeah. So no, you wouldn't stop working.
Nope.
The answer, yes.
I did say that.
For me, I wouldn't stop working. I would definitely take a break, and work on hobbies, because I think that a lot of my life is working a bunch of dead end jobs just so I can like stay financially afloat.
Yep.
And I have to push my hobbies aside. So I would be able to like take a break. I don't think sustainably, just like it is a lot of money. Like, most people don't have $1 million in their lifetime, but I feel like people change their lifestyles and then $1 million goes like that. So I feel like I would have to still work to keep an income, but also do more things that I love, and then maybe turn that into a paycheck.
A little more flexibility too.
Yeah, a little more flexibility.
Like, if you want to take some time, then you can.
Yeah.
The option.
Yeah, so I wouldn't stop working. Also, I have to keep busy or my brain just shuts down. It's
True.
Retweet.
it's like summer breaks, like when I don't have school, like, which is gonna be hard for me after I graduate, but like my brain just shuts down, and I'm like, I feel like I need to learn. So I don't know how I would just like stop. But yeah.
Podcast, the supplemental learning.
Yes.
That's when I'm ever listening to podcasts with smart people, I'm like, this is just learning.
It's
It's
school.
not entertainment. Like, yeah, it's the same thing. Yeah, I would invest $900,000 probably immediately. As far as work, I would probably just quit my like corporate job. But nothing would change. Yeah, because my goals have nothing to do with, like, you can't buy the goals that I have. So it's, I would have a retirement fund that's guaranteed. But yeah, nothing would change day to day, really.
Yeah, and I think like giving back and like knowing like there's so many people like the three of us or like anybody that's been on our podcast like that could use money, scholarships.
Oh, that's good.
Investing in them,
investing in companies. Yeah, like that's
like young people.
true. I would
like
take
us.
probably a couple hundred out of that just to do that, because then you don't know in 15, 20 years.
Imagine right now if somebody just came to you and was like, here's $5,000 for promoting your new album.
Mhm.
Like, imagine how far that would go for you.
Yeah, well, because I would be able to use every penny. Yeah.
Exactly. So yeah, I mean, I think that's a great question first off, Kat, but
Yeah.
I think you also asked the wrong people because we're all like, nah, we love what we do. And like most people be like, yeah, $1 million, I wouldn't work
I
ever
don't know.
again.
Like,
Yeah.
money's great. Like, I love money, and I've always like been able to make it and like been like comfortable. But I realized like there's just bonuses that I don't chase. Like, I just don't really want, like, they don't motivate me that much.
You can't buy a legacy.
Yeah, exactly. And it's really like, especially in music and business and corporate and things like that, it's all about relationships. So like, people don't care if you have the guy, like I was telling you about a certain guy who, had a company, he was, grossing $200 million a year. Doesn't mean that his app's going to succeed. It probably won't, so it's like, the money doesn't like, it's a Gary V shit, just like the market is going to determine, right? So
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know. I had like a wholesome thought on that. So
It was developing
Your
in
face
there.
said
no.
wholesome.
No. It essentially like I feel like if the three of us had money, like we would just use it like for our basic necessities. Like we need to eat, we need rent,
That's it.
That's it.
Expenses.
And-
Just
and-
normal.
and-
Okay, don't get me wrong. I would probably go lease an M6 or something ridiculous, but just because I'm a car guy. But
Yeah, absolutely. But also too, you have to realize like I know a lot of people that have come into money and like bought a nice car, and then you have to upkeep. Like you have to be able to put the money into this car to keep it running, and then they run out of money and they're like, oh, and then they
well,
have to
yeah,
give up
because
the
they
car.
build a lifestyle
Yeah.
that's predicated on the money that they have.
Yeah.
But they didn't make a plan to make more. So that's why you invest. Like
So
that's the saw. Yeah,
that's
but
the answer.
yeah, we've all seen it. Like those
Yeah,
people,
we've all seen
like,
it.
dude, like first of all, when they have the car, they have like the Audi, right? But they're living at their parents' house, and they're just like work for UPS. It's like, did you just working for UPS is an amazing job, by the way. I'm not putting this down, just as an example. But like, did you do that just to get that car? Like Rob Dyrdek in one interview, he's only done one interview, amazing interview. He was like, I remember the day I got an Audi A6 and I pulled it in the driveway and I looked at it and I was like, this can't be it. And then look where he is now, right? So
Yeah.
money's only
like
gets
that-
you those things.
It's like that show Extreme Makeover Home Edition.
Yep.
Because almost everybody that has homes made for them on that show can't afford to keep the home like a year or two
They're
after.
they're
The
bringing that
taxes
show
and shit, yeah.
back now.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, apparently. So I would like to see that
Listen,
in modern
that
times.
dude
Yeah.
Ty was hype. So
Yeah.
like I'm gonna watch, but
Yeah,
yeah.
the season premiere is apparently this Sunday. I saw it when I was at the.
Is
nail
that
salon yesterday.
TLC? What is it?
That's gotta be
think
TLC.
so.
It's gotta
I think
be.
so.
What else would it be
I
on?
don't know. Yeah, I don't even have cable, so I can't even
Neither.
watch it.
Me neither. I have to stream it somehow. So
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Reddit stream for Makeover Home Edition. Who's got the stream link?
Go on. What was that? What's that app? The live streaming one that people use on Twitter.
Oh, Twitch.
Well, no, it's not Twitch. I forget what they call it.
imagine going on Twitch to watch Extreme Homemaker.
Yeah, right. And in the comment section, just like, I don't know about that hardwood. I was going for the maple, but they just went a little too light on it. Just like
Every once in a while, Ty looks at it and goes, "Just subscribe to our Twitch channel." Yeah.
What's up?
All right. Well, Kat, thank you for
Yeah.
that question.
Great question.
That's awesome. So our friend Mike from BGM Sports Podcast, super supportive guy. He asked, if you could talk to anyone from the past or present, who would it be and why? I absolutely have an answer for this.
All right, you need to go first.
Okay. So, my friends know this answer is going to come out, but
Oh wait, I think
for
I
the
know
people-
what it is.
Yeah, you already know what it is. For the people that don't know me, I'm a huge fan of Michael Jackson.
There it
Okay.
is. Yep.
And I have so many things to talk about with this because I fully believe that this man was innocent. And I don't ever, like, advocate for, molesters or predators or whatever. And there is not one doubt in my mind that this guy is innocent. And every documentary that's come out about Michael Jackson has always victimized him with no proof. Like, I understand.
And as many documentaries do.
Yes, as many documentaries do. And then there were documentaries that have been made going against those documentaries that aren't given the light of day because no one wants
they weren't
to hear
first,
anything.
yeah.
They weren't first. No one wants to hear anything. Once you hear that word predator, like, you're out. Like, people just, like, don't
It's
look into
automatic.
the facts. And he was acquitted for a reason. And that reason was because he was innocent. And I will literally advocate for that till the day I die.
So you want to talk to him and be like, "Yo, I got your back."
Yeah, I want to ask so many questions. I want to be like, what do you think about these documentaries? People are slandering your name 10 years after you die. It's 11 years this year. Like, I have so much to say to him and ask him, but that would be my number one. But like, he was a good dude, and I really feel bad for him, and he was very, very, very victimized. And there's a couple documentaries on YouTube that you can watch. I'm blanking on the name because my memory is really bad, but they just watch them, and before you make your opinion, because there's no solid evidence that he did any of what he did, was accused of. So
I haven't seen any, so now I'm intrigued. Now I'm gonna go start watching them.
I've spent years of my life watching every side of this argument, and there's not one time where I thought, okay, maybe he could have done this. You have to watch these documentaries. They're great. and I'll look up the name of it while one of you are answering. So,
You got one? Or
Let me know. Yeah, probably Joe Rogan. Because I already met Gary Vee, and but with Joe, I would just want to probably sit down and talk to him and like represent. If you know me, it's my favorite podcast. I love podcasts. I was inspired by him to make my own podcast. And from that, I've gotten opportunities to interview people that I would have never gotten if I would have never got the inspiration to start one. But I would like to sit down and have a podcast, and he always, he's mentioned, multiple people have mentioned on the show, he's had a few rappers on too, about how, just joking, imagine if your kid was a white rapper, what you would say to him, right? So I would like to come on the show and represent that, and nobody has yet. There hasn't been a Lil Dicky or a Macklemore on the show yet, so that'd be cool. I would ask him if I could hop on and do that.
That'd be lit.
that was awesome.
Oh, this is tough. I have it like narrowed down
I
to
didn't know.
2.
I just made that all up. Like, I
Yeah.
just figured that out right now.
This is tough. All right. Yep. So I'd pick Jonah Hill because one, like all of his movies growing up made me laugh so much. Like he's just such a funny actor. But then I heard his life story of how he wanted to be a director the entire time. He couldn't afford film school, but he knew he was funny. He knew he could get through, and he has called working on all of his movies his film school. Every movie he's ever starred in, he learned from those directors. And then he directed a movie. And mid-90s just hits me so hard. I've watched that movie so many times, and I would love to talk to him about making that movie, the journey of being a kid wanting to make movies, because there's a character in mid-90s who films everything they're doing that he says he's based off of himself. So, like, he's been doing this since the 90s of, like, just filming him and his friends. But I would love to be able to talk to him about what it was like making that movie, working with those actors, because none of them were actors. They were all just skateboarding kids that he found in parks in LA. Some of them pros, some of them not. But I would love to just talk to him about that and what he's got going on next, because like that dude, like I've watched mid-90s with commentary, just hearing him talk about the movie, his love for film just pours out. And that's exactly how I feel. That I feel like similar to him, just I'm not there yet. So I'd love to talk to him just about his process and like what he does. That's
a cool person. I wouldn't even think of him, but that's a solid choice.
And also, like, he was fat and then he wasn't, and then he was and then he wasn't. So I'm gonna be like, Jonah, what's your diet, bro?
That's great.
Love you, Jonah.
But yeah, I looked up the documentary, by the way.
What's it called?
It's called Square One. It's on YouTube. It literally is about like the first time he was accused, and they did, like, the lawyers went in and actually it's his family as well, and they talked about the first time he was accused, and they looked at the family life behind the person who accused him and like why he did it, and there's actual physical proof in there showing that the person who first accused him was doing it for money, and then it like spiraled because he did get money. So it's solid.
It goes
evidence.
deep.
It goes deep. There's like so much evidence in it that like I'm surprised it hasn't gotten the like attention it deserves. So yeah, Square One.
Especially like the respect that, like you said, it does damage. Like, it's an automatic damaging effect.
Mm-hmm.
But to be the most prolific artist, probably of like almost all time, probably like top 3, 5 maybe. Like, nobody's, when Thriller came out, there had never been anything even close to that. Like, and then for that to completely derail. Like, I've been to gigs where I DJ and they say no R. Kelly, no MJ. So times have changed actually because of that.
Yeah, it's a shame. And like R. Kelly is a completely different story. Like, there's
that
actual
is the
evidence.
complete. Exactly what I'm saying is.
Yeah.
They say both.
Yeah.
Where it should just be. I get the R. Kelly, but like,
yes.
Man, like, I don't put bad on and just think like I don't. That is not the connotation I get. I think this song is so amazing. Yeah. And then when you put R. Kelly on, you probably do get a certain type of
yeah. Everyone's just kind of like, ooh, but like, I don't know. I could go off like a whole episode of a podcast on why Michael Jackson's innocent, but I won't. So we can move on from this question. But thank you, Mike, for the question.
Another good one.
My other choice was Robin Williams, but I just wanted
Solid.
to throw that out there.
That's a good choice. That's a good choice. So the next question is, what's your favorite board game?
Who's it from?
Mitch.
Mitch who?
Marcico.
Hey, Mitch.
Yes.
That's tough. Because there's board games that I like playing because I know I'm good at them.
Yes.
But then there's ones that I like more because they're fun, but I don't win.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like Clue, I'm a master at.
Yeah.
I win Clue so much.
Mm.
But like, I mean, and theme Monopoly's dope
Yeah.
when you get the right theme. Like I got NFL Monopoly when I was a kid. It was like you were buying the team, so you were the owner, and like all the cards is like ownership decisions. I'm like, this is hilarious.
Yeah.
You know?
This is like it's like I didn't even know they had spin-offs on the original like game.
Oh yeah.
I'm out of the loop.
Well, Monopoly's fair use now, bro. Anybody
Oh,
can
okay.
make one.
So, especially since they just used Atlantic City, like,
Yeah.
so now you can just take that.
Yeah, exactly.
That's funny. I don't know. I don't play board games. Monopoly's going to be my choice. I'm just going to leave it to y'all because I don't play.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't play them. So
I love board games. I would rather like sit home, play board games with a bunch of friends than go out and drink. That's personally me.
I'm
but
starting to become that.
It's
I'm
great.
starting to
Well, no.
open up.
What you do is you stay home with your friends and play board games while drinking. If you are 21, drink responsibly.
Yeah, I'm 23. I'm over it.
I'm just
So,
saying for the podcast.
I know. I'm just personally like, I have game nights with my butler's friends, and which is a place I used to work
I was gonna
at.
say
so
it's a like Cassie's part of a group of butlers.
Yes.
Like
No, it's a pharmacy I used to work at, but no free clout. But my coworkers and I are still all very, very close, and there's just nights where we want to do something, we don't know what, we don't want to go out, so we'll just meet at my friend's house and play board games all night, and it's fun. We play multiple board games. I would say like Monopoly, Life. Life is intense.
life is rough.
I can finesse life in the board game sense, but not in real life.
Yo, I had Star Wars Life,
Mm.
and you had to pick between being a Jedi or a Sith. And as a kid, I was like Jedi every time. My brother was Sith every time. I'm like, really, bro?
Come on.
Yeah, life is cool. Cards Against Humanities, if that counts.
That counts.
Yeah, stuff like that. Just anything. We can always make it more fun than it is too. So you
Yeah.
have to be with the right people.
Exactly. Yeah.
So.
And I just got a game. I think it's called like This Game Will Make You Buzzed. And every single card says like drink if you've done this.
Oh, I like those ones actually.
Yeah,
My
we'll
bad.
play that
I
soon.
have played those,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
you can get sauced easily,
Oh yeah.
and also you find out things about people that you didn't know
Yeah.
while you're getting sauced. So it's good.
Yeah. So thanks for that question, Mitch.
Yeah.
Solid.
Drink
Solid
responsibly.
So we have a question from Ryan Owens. What got you into film? So this one's more for Luke.
Hi. Hey Ryan. What got me in? I mean, we can spin it where like what got you into TV, what got you into rap or whatever music.
Mhm.
So for me, I just loved movies so much as a kid that I was like, this is real. Like this is a job that you can make these.
Mhm.
Like this is like in the credits. These are all jobs that you can actually do.
Hundreds of jobs.
Exactly. And then there's like the first one that you see every single time, directed by. I'm just like, I want to do that.
Mhm.
I didn't know what a director did when I was like 5 years old. I'm like, but their name's always first.
Seems cool.
So like, yeah, like I'm down.
Big letters.
And then I found out it's like the director's job, not necessarily to do all of the movie, but like the movie hinges on them. They get the performances out of the actors. They bring things together. It's their vision being made. And then like as a kid, it's just like I had a camera. I was filming stuff all the time. I'm like, I want to do this, like I can do this. And then there's been many times where I'm like, oh, I can't, panic attack.
Yep.
But then there's times where like I watch mid 90s and I'm like, oh my God, like I need to do this. Like this is the only thing I need to do the rest of my life. So yeah.
That's cool. Solid question. So this question is from Chris Famularo, who we just recently had on the podcast.
Hey Chris.
What do you guys do to de-stress or relax?
Ooh, that's a good one.
This is good. This is really good.
You go first.
All right, I'll take it. Okay, so I tried to get I'm not always good at this. I tried to do things to where I can keep a baseline so then I never get over a certain point of stress. So every day I have a morning routine that usually takes an hour. Sometimes it's 40 minutes, sometimes it's an hour and 20, depending on the time I have. And then at the end of the day is when I practice. So like morning routine, just really quick one rundown is meditation, visualization, writing, and then reading if I have time to read. And then at the end of the day is practice, meaning guitar, rap, sing, like whatever, make music, just some kind of practice. So if I do those every day, I'm pretty good. Like I can stay at a pretty good like level and get everything else done. But when it comes to like decompressing, as in like taking all of the stress of life and then trying to like turn that back a notch, podcasts are great for me. At the end of the day, I love to sit and like watch just 15 minutes or something, just to like kind of get at, like you've said, like get out of the life a little bit, almost just to be into something like you're watching a movie. And being out in nature is another one, which is huge. And then for me, like music is like like an anti-stress for me. So it's something I'm doing already that's going to take that stress away. So those are right. I don't have anything like really crazy to like, if I'm extremely stressed, to like de-stress me, but breathing, meditation, all plays in.
I got a couple things kind of similar to you, but like in my own Luke spin of them, where like for you, it's like music. For me, if I watch a movie, it's like an escape for 2 hours. It's just chilling. It's watching something else somebody was passionate enough to make. And I love that. And it's just like a break of everything. Like, all right, I'm not in my world right now. I'm in whatever world the director wants me to be in right now. And I love to just feel that. So that's cool. I love going outside so much. Like, I hate New Jersey because it's too cold to go outside all year. Like, I don't even care though. I just go outside in like 10-degree weather anyways, because like just playing basketball, longboarding, like whatever, get a couple friends.
Just getting out there, it does a reset, and your body knows,
breathe.
man.
You breathe in that night, like even the cold air, it's like resetting yourself.
Yep.
So that feels really good. And then I like recording podcasts, honestly, de-stresses me because it's just like getting your thoughts out there. And like it's cool putting it out to an audience. So shout out to you guys
too.
Oh, yeah. The podcast zone.
Yeah, and this is it. This is secluded from the world for a second.
Yeah.
Yeah. For me, I used to really like going outside, but now I'm barred from going outside because I got bit by a tick in the woods and I'm a Lyme survivor. So my doctor suggested don't do that anymore. So I had to find something else to de-stress me. And I pretty much, I just consume content at this point. Like I'll sit on, I know this is really terrible, but I'll just like sit on TikTok for like 4 hours. And I was actually recently listening to a podcast, from Russell Brand actually, and he was talking about like what dictates like addiction. And he was like, if you set a goal for yourself that day and like just say like I'm not going to be on this app for more than an hour, and then you like surpass that, it's an addiction and you like can't follow those goals. And I am very not proud to say that I'm probably addicted to TikTok because like it's instantaneous like comedy.
And we all consume too much too, I think. Like no matter at what rate we consume.
Yeah.
Like if you do an hour, that's too much compared to the person just 30 minutes. So it's like,
yeah, my screen time is ridiculous. It's like actually kind of sad. But to actually like put like if I'm like really stressed out and I like really just need to like focus and stuff like that, because that's what I do to decompress. But like to like keep myself stress free, I'm really huge into organization and cleaning, and I'll take like a planner and I'll plan out my entire week, like every single
see,
detail
that
about
stresses
it.
me out to do that.
I need to do that.
It's so funny though.
Yeah.
It's the opposite. I love planning, but I hate planning at the same time. I love when things are planned, but I hate doing that plan. That's so funny.
Yeah, no, I absolutely love that. Like I could definitely be someone's assistant. Like I love planning things out and like organizing and like scheduling.
You need a job or?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Okay.
I graduate in May.
I'll get you linked up.
Yeah, I will be someone's assistant. But I like that, and I love like cleaning and like knowing like my whole room's organized, my bathroom's squeaky clean. Like just like having that peace of mind is like now I could do whatever I want and I don't have to worry about this sort of thing. So like that de-stresses me a lot.
I wish I had that trait.
Yeah, my roommate's the same way. He's like, if I like don't clean this thing, or like maybe it wasn't him or somebody, but like they're like, if I don't clean the bathroom, then it's like on my. I'm just like, I never think about my bathroom. I just walk in and just use it. But you know, so like it's so funny how people think different things get them to like stay on track and organize and bother them.
Yeah. So that's usually like if I have a week that's like disorganized or like doesn't go the way that I planned, then I'll sit on TikTok for hours and just like decompress it, and
or deep scrub your bathroom.
Yeah, all the time. That's number one. Then TikTok.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I haven't really found anything else to like decompress. I bought a Nintendo Switch thinking that was gonna help me, but
When Animal Crossing comes out, it will.
Yeah. It's hard for me to find games that I actually really enjoy because I'll play them for 2 weeks straight and then beat them and then be like, now what?
You did that with one game.
Okay, well, you know what? Don't call me out.
I'm blasting you right now.
All right.
I forgot one. Working out. I've worked out for so long. For like 6 or 7, probably 7 years or something. That's the biggest one that I somehow forgot. I probably forgot because I haven't worked out in like 2 days. But yeah, that keeps me. Oh my God, you could like tell me anything after, like I'll just be like, what? That's cool, you know. So
I also wish I had that. So there's the opposites. Like I wish I could do something like that.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, it's just momentum though.
Yeah.
Addicted. I'm addicted to it for sure though. It's messed me up, ligaments and things like that. So
Yeah.
pro and con.
I wish I could exercise without getting winded, but that's another story.
True.
So yeah, that's a really good thing to think
Thanks,
about.
Chris.
Yeah, thank you, Chris.
Thanks, buddy.
So the next one's probably going to be a debate. We were talking about it before the podcast. It's from our friend Reagan. Better ensemble comedy, Office or Parks and Rec?
The Office. Case closed.
I don't think the case is closed because I'd say Parks and Rec.
Ooh. I feel tension.
Listen, they're similar shows, but the comedy is completely different. So it's a personal preference.
You're right.
But I personally like the characters better and the humor better on Parks and Rec, and it keeps my attention to where I would want to watch the episodes again. I've seen The Office all the way through, and I really loved it, but that's not a show for me that I can sit and watch.
Is The
again.
Office more dry, you think? Than
Yeah.
I think more Parks and Rec is a little more like you said, a little more like flamboyant with the humor. Like it's very like almost obvious. Whereas The Office, it's like you might have to wait a couple minutes for something funny to happen.
Yeah, it's like The Office is like the way they do things is funny, like the mannerisms.
It's not even like they're almost not even trying.
Yeah.
And just even the camera angle's funny.
Yeah.
Like just the way that they pan the camera to Jim when he's just like
Yeah.
you know, like that's where it's something you wouldn't even think about.
Yeah, it's
But
more,
there's a different it's just different
it's
thing.
different. It's like a dry. It depends on what kind of humor you like. It's dry humor. It's whatever. It's The Office is a little more advanced humor because you have to literally think about it to get it.
Yes.
Parks and Rec is like instantaneous, like exaggerated humor, which I like sometimes. Like I don't want to think about humor.
Yeah, I mean, like, I really just don't want to pick because I love both.
Yeah, I was gonna say, are you gonna be the deciding factor?
Well,
on this?
like,
we're 1-1 here.
it's tough because, like, here's the thing. On Parks and Rec, anytime, I don't remember his name, but the guy who does Billy on the Street, his character is on, I cannot stop laughing the entire time he's on screen.
Yes.
Or, like, when John Ralphio is there and he's
I
singing
love
about being under house arrest, like, I can't stop laughing.
Or Aziz.
Oh, yeah.
I love Aziz Ansari.
Anything that he says.
Yeah.
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 And, like,
I'm
Chris
done,
Pratt
I'm
in that
dying.
show, too. Fat Pratt.
Straight killers on that show, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you have Aubrey Plaza and
The
Amy
lineup.
Poehler. Like
Everybody.
you can't
Rob Lowe,
compare.
literally.
Yeah. Okay. So I went to Ellen last spring break, and Rob Lowe was my guest, right? So I lost it, and I was like, "Oh my god!" Because obviously I'm a fan of Wayne's World, so he was on Wayne's World and Parks and Rec and everything. And I was with my friend's little sister and her friend, and they're 19 now, and they've never heard of Rob Lowe. I was just like,
Yeah, that was bad.
what? They looked at me like, why are you freaking out? I'm like, what do you mean, why am I freaking out? Rob Lowe's in our presence. Hello?
They're like, who?
Chris Traeger?
Yeah.
But
I mean, honestly, though, like, if I had to pick, I'd pick The Office just to be, like, the deciding one. Just because I've watched The Office so many times.
Yeah, I've just
through.
I found it first, and I watched it more. So
Yeah,
that's really probably the reason.
That's why I picked it.
Because a lot of it is like when you hear the cover of the song first, then you hear the original, you like the cover more, kind of
Yeah.
just because you saw it first.
But, like, if we talk in sitcoms, Malcolm in the Middle and Scrubs are my favorite, so.
Seinfeld,
I love Everybody Hates Chris.
Oh, Everybody Hates Chris is so good.
classic.
That's
I
my
love that show.
favorite. I wake up at 5 a.m. getting ready for high school
Mhm.
just so I could watch 2 episodes of Everybody Hates Chris every morning.
Absolutely.
Love that show.
Absolutely. Great.
So many great sitcoms.
There's this one episode, and I just cry laughing every time I don't know why. It's
Chris Rock's hilarious.
yeah.
Like, as the narrator,
go
it's
off
so
about
funny.
that,
Yeah,
but
and
Terry
like
Crews, right?
Terry
Is
Crews.
he
Yeah,
in that?
he's the dad.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
the dad. Yeah.
so
How
funny.
amazing is he?
Oh, he's
like,
great. That was the first thing I saw him in.
imagine
was that
looking
show.
like that and being that talented.
Yeah.
Like you're like ripped. He's like ripped Jamie Foxx basically.
Well,
Like,
he's also in Brooklyn Nine-Nine, and his character's hilarious in that show too.
what a like specimen of a human being.
Right?
I know.
Mhm.
And in every episode of that show, he somehow brings in about how he works 2 jobs, and it's
Yeah.
just the funniest thing.
Yeah.
It doesn't get old.
Yeah.
He's like reusing the cereal and stuff. Like
Yeah.
reusing the milk for the
That's
cereal. Like,
25
my-
cents worth
Yeah,
of milk.
25 cents.
My man's got 2 jobs.
Oh
Yeah,
my
every
God.
time. And yesterday I was on Instagram, and it was speaking of Scrubs. The main actor from it, Zach Braff, he posted a picture of him and Donald Faison, who played Turk on the show, like the 2 main characters. And he goes, "Scrubs rewatch podcast," and I was just like, "Bet," because they would go through and watch every episode and just talk about it. I would watch that and listen so hard. I would time it up so I could watch the episode with their commentary. I love Scrubs so much. On a college paper about Steadicam, which is like the rig that you wear, I reached out to the Steadicam operator who worked on Scrubs and interviewed him about it for my paper. And like I was just like, I just wrote a paper about Scrubs for college. This is dope.
This is what I'm paying for.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I guess The Office won. But we all love Parks and Rec too. So it's like,
Parks and Rec is a great show.
thanks for making that debate happen, Reagan.
Yeah, and I'm gonna ask one final question, just so we can wrap it up. But your friend Sal had messaged you one final question. He said, "I was gonna ask you guys the coolest experience you've had because of content creation, while not necessarily creating content. Like, what's the coolest place your content experience has taken you?"
That's such a good question.
Yeah. I think I got it.
I have like a mini answer that I can just throw out right now.
You want to take it?
Well, it's not gonna be my full answer because I have to think about it a little. But
All right. You want me to take this and then let's pass
let me
it off?
let me say my little.
You say
my
your
little
mini and then
yeah,
we'll-
yeah. So I have made my best friends through it, by far. Like the 2 of you I've met through it while not creating,
Mhm.
because like we just met because of Joe Gibbs. We met through college and then ended up making stuff. But yeah, I mean the people are wonderful. Like for real.
It's all about the people.
Yeah. I'll think more now. Go Bob,
yeah,
go.
you're good. I mean, the Gary Vee thing was cool. It was, you know, it wasn't surreal like the experience. Like meeting him was surreal, but it wasn't like the coolest place. Like it was really like his dad's liquor store is just really like it's not crazy out there. It's not like I flew to some other country or something, but the actual like coolest place it's taken me was my music, and I got to record with people who went on tour with G-Eazy, who made songs with Action Bronson, who, you know, toured the world and like had these opportunities and work with artists that I look up to, and then I got to record my music with their engineers and then also meet some of my role models who are also in that collective. And like some of them know me by name now, so like, but just being there in that atmosphere, that's the coolest thing for me. And I was going there to record music, so it's kind of like basically the same. I made a lot of content there too, so it counts, but definitely the coolest scenario.
What about you?
Probably meeting Jimmy Fallon because of a show. Definitely. One of my friends took me. She got tickets, and I went in the audience, and I took his Q&A session as a time to ask how to get into the TV field. I feel like I've talked about this before. I haven't really like told the actual story behind it.
Tell the story. Story time.
So I went to a show December 2018, and while he was setting up for the musical guest, who was Ice Cube, which is pretty awesome.
A little before of the story though is that when I went to Fallon, somebody asked for a job and he said, "Where's your resume?"
Yes.
So then when she was going, I told her to bring her resume
Yes.
and ask for a job.
And then when I got there and was like asking people that worked for him, like, can I leave my resume? They're like, you can't do that. So I was like, oh, cool. I printed out 3 copies of my resume and they're in my purse, but it's fine. So I took the opportunity because he did a Q&A, and I was like, oh, well, here's my chance. So I raised my hand and I was like, do you have any advice for me? I'm majoring in, I just said television production, but that's what I want to do, and I have no idea how to get in the field. Can you give me some advice? And he was so happy someone asked him a question about that, because like it's always like, how's your kids or something like that, and he's like, finally, like a question I don't answer all the time. And he gave me some like solid advice, and he was like, just take any job you can get. He's like, you're not going to get paid well when you first start out, so just don't expect a huge paycheck, but just show that you're passionate about it. Do what you love. Take anything you can get, and it'll lead you somewhere wild. So I was like, oh, that's awesome. So then I thought that was enough, and I kind of just blacked out the rest of the show. I like did not pay attention to the musical guest. I'm like, he just talked to me. That's so cool. And then at the end, he at the end of every episode, he runs up and down the audience like with his hands out and gives everybody high five. And I was in the front row. So I was like the last person he would give a high five to. So I went to go give him a high five. He grabbed my hand, came around, gave me this huge hug, and he was like, if anybody tells you that they don't believe in you, tell them Jimmy Fallon does. He's like, I believe in you, you've got this. And I like literally, I was sitting there like shaking. I was like, what do I do? I was like, thank you, oh my God. And then he was like, see ya, and just like stormed off. And I was like, what just happened? But that was like surreal. It was like surreal. Like he doesn't even know what my name is, and he like just gave me all that advice. It's amazing. Jimmy Fallon's a good dude.
Shout out to Jimmy. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Congrats on that. That's
Thank you.
wild.
Yeah.
Kimmel sucks.
Yeah.
He doesn't suck.
May have
got
to work for
decent
him one
content.
day. Kimmel doesn't suck. Hello.
Whatever.
All right, Luke, you spitting it?
Oh God, it's like I don't even have a good answer. It's why I'm stressed right now. Like I don't. It's like a pressure question. Like thank you, Sal, but I mean, it's like my life has been shaped around this, so it's like hard to narrow it down to one thing. Because since I was 13, this is what I wanted to do.
Just like, what about like a location? Like just a location that you were on that you would not have been to that location.
Yeah.
Like for me, it's like DJ gigs too that are like on some crazy house or like crazy hotel that I wouldn't have.
Yeah. Well, I think something that's cool is like the full circle moments where it's like
This is real moment.
something in your life is like connecting with what you're trying to do. So I worked with Oakleaf over the summer. I worked a summer job at Heartland Golf in Ship Bottom, New Jersey. Shout out to Dave Hartman, the best boss in the world. I worked that job for 10 years, and this is my last summer. This past summer was my last summer there. And like this summer was like a bridge where I worked at Heartland. I was working at Oakleaf. I was doing both. And one of the first jobs of the summer was filming a video about the business across the street from Heartland, who had known me for the past 10 years and like was like family because it was Farias Surf and Sport. Like I've known them forever.
I've spent stupid money at that store, so.
Yeah. So with the first day we're filming, we go to the store and I walk in and they're like, you're at the wrong building. Like go across the street. I'm like, no, I'm working here today. They're like, oh. And like each time one of the family members showed up, they're like, what's up? Like recognizing me and realizing it. And like one of them was like, I've literally known you since you were 13 years old. And like now you're an adult working like a real job. And like that was insane because like it was just a cool full circle moment.
Those moments are great.
Yeah. And then a location. So I guess indirectly because of content creating it happened. But one thing that's always stood out to me and like one of the coolest moments in my life was I was wine drunk in Los Angeles at the Griffith Observatory with her and our other friends. We were there because like this counts because
It does count.
because like creating led us there.
Yeah.
But I was sitting there just like looking out at the LA skyline, like seeing the entire city, my first time there. I'm just sitting there like sitting on like an edge of the Griffith Observatory, like my legs hanging off, just like feeling the breeze hit me. I'm just like, this is dope. Like this is where I want to be. So
Put
like
you in that zone.
yeah, and like the fact that I was just there enjoying it, like
Taking it in.
yeah.
Spelling the roses
Yeah.
for a second.
And
Like-
then you also have to disclose what happened after we tried to leave. The
Oh
Griffith
yeah.
Observatory.
So so we Ubered there because we are responsible adults. We don't drink and drive. Drink responsibly. That's the theme of this episode.
Drive responsibly.
Yes, that too. But so we Ubered there. We call our Uber to leave, and the Uber is taking like 20 minutes to get there, and we're just like, dude, it's on the hill.
And this
Drive
is,
up.
it's at closing time, so they like closed the park. They like kicked us out. They're like, you gotta wait down here. Like you can't be in the observatory.
So we're just sitting there waiting for our Uber. There's like 3 other groups of people too doing the same thing. And then a park ranger comes up like a half hour later. Meanwhile, we're like on the phone with our Uber like, we are at the Griffith Observatory. There is only one of these. It's up the hill.
Yep.
Go. And he's like screaming at us like not speaking English. And we're like, dude, like this is not working. And our friend Mike was like, I'm going to cancel. And he goes, no, you're getting charged for this. Mike was like, no. But so then the park ranger drives up and goes, we closed the gate. I'm like, so you're telling me that you told us to wait here for our Ubers and then you closed
gate's
the
closed,
gate
so you
so
can't
they
even get up
couldn't
if they
even
wanted
drive
to.
up.
Yeah.
So we're just like, what? So they're like, yeah, start walking. So we canceled the Uber We called a Lyft. Lyft saved the day. Sponsor us, Lyft.
Yes, but
Then, as we were walking down the hill, this is not the end. As we're walking down, we start to enter this tunnel that like you drive through, and we heard like noises. And we're like, "What's that?" Like, but whatever. We're just kind of walking down a hill. There's coyotes just chilling. We're all just like
California coyotes, baby.
we're just like looking at them like what do we do? And then
our friend's like, should we run? And I was like, I think that's the last thing we should do.
so we all just start like calmly walking, and like there's other people there, and we're like, hey, there's coyotes, and they were like, oh my god, like about to freak out, and we're like, stay away from them, stay away.
Nah, they're timid. They don't do anything. Trust me, they won't.
But
they won't touch you.
It was
They're
just
scared
an
of humans.
interesting experience.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Then
coyotes are they're not like they look like they can mess you up. There's 11 of them.
Yeah.
You.
Yeah. So then we ended
They
up
won't
at the
get you.
bottom of the hill in the lift, and we got home, and
There
we
you
told
go.
our Lyft driver the story, and he was laughing.
Shout out the Lyft, the better.
Good experience out
Yeah.
in the Cali Hills.
But
Yeah.
like Griffith Observatory was beautiful. Like I can't wait to go back.
I'll put it on the list.
Oh.
I'm sorry, bro. I got 1 minute,
Oh yeah, that's right. All right.
but I'm gonna let you rap,
Oh yeah,
and
yeah.
I'm gonna take it. But
All right, yeah.
thank you guys so much for watching this episode. My name once again is Sully. That's SullyBop on all platforms. SullyBop. Just dropped a single a few days ago. If you're watching this now, so thank you so much. Check it out and let me know what you think.
Bob's
Thank
got
you
some
guys
business to
so
take care
much.
of.
I got a call.
Go Bob,
unfortunately.
go Bob, go.
Gotta get it, but thank
Yes.
you guys.
Yes,
Yep.
absolutely.
All right. Well, that's the first time we've had somebody leave during an episode. I like knocking.
Oh, okay.
I like knocking milestones out. So
Yes, absolutely.
yeah. So I mean, we're gonna wrap it up anyways. So he just had to exit real quick. But
Yes.
thank you everybody who submitted questions. We really appreciate it. We'd like to do another one of these sometime just because it's fun.
Yeah.
We love creating, but also at the same time, it's fun talking about just random stuff like this. So if you like this, we'll do more.
Yeah, absolutely. Like any Q&A that we'll like try to get questions for, it doesn't always have to be content creation. You
I mean,
guys can
neither
always
does the
ask us anything.
podcast, honestly. Like, if
Yeah.
we're just gonna start bringing on people who do dope things, anyways. But
Yeah.
like with creating in mind.
Yeah.
But yeah, and we just dropped our episode with Pat today. So I mean, this will be coming out next week, so it'll be a week ago. So make sure you watch that because Pat is wildly entertaining.
Yes, absolutely.
And then all the timelines are weird. I feel like this is Inception because Sully was describing it like his song drops in 2 days, but for them it'll drop last Friday, and we're recording it on Wednesday, and it'll be dropping next Wednesday.
Yes, that's a number one tip they tell us in content creation is never tell anybody when things are like coming out or when like you can't say like tomorrow or yesterday because you never know when anything's
Because you don't know when
air.
you're posting it. So we're
Yeah,
being
yeah.
as specific as possible. But
Yes.
so when we're recording this, the next episode we're recording is with one of my best friends, Connor, who has become a business owner / just like really successful young person. Like his story is just awesome. So that episode will be coming out the following week. So just a little preview of that. We got a bunch of stuff going on, lots of fun stuff. So we appreciate you being around for the fun and hope you guys are enjoying it.
Yes, thank you.
Yep. So we'll see you next time. Now that is a podcast. Aha ha hee hee.
Don't let people put you down before you judge them the hardest. Forced to find love on this digital when I've been about the traditional. Patience at a minimum, yeah. But you gotta let it happen like a ritual. My main thing left and my side thing switched up. It's better that way. I was getting them mixed up. Main thing left, side thing switched up. It's better that way. I was getting them mixed up. Solo at the party, so I left with myself. If I needed what she needed, I would need it myself.